I'm Brenda Brink. I'm a lifelong Iowan. I grew up in southwest Iowa. My husband and I both grew up on farms. Things have changed out in the rural communities now. We feel like there isn't as much emphasis on keeping the rural life alive. I have been retired about 4 years, and in that 4 years I have been really involved with Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement and their action arm. If it was a legislative bill that was for the people, we were for it. If it worked against people's best interests, we worked against it. But we were there as citizen lobbyists, so we were there on our own dime, on our own time, and we were there because we knew that we needed to make a difference. You know, through the citizen lobbying, we've seen changes, and particularly last year when there was a very different mood at the State House. At the State House, people all of a sudden were not wanting to listen to us and not wanting to really take in what we were trying to tell them and tell our concerns. And it was because there's only one party in power. So the people in power right now really don't seem to care about what the people who things are going to affect care about. And that's what really made me decide to run for office. I have the desire and I have the heart to do it. I found it quite interesting that, again, this party that has all the power didn't listen to their own state auditor, who told them before the legislative session started. She said, you can't keep doing this sort of budgetary management. You're giving away so many tax breaks, tax cuts, tax exemptions. This revenue that's not being collected, you've got to do something. In other words, it's not sustainable, you're going to go in the hole, and that's what happened. So instead, this last legislative session, they paid no attention to fiscal responsibility. And what they did was they passed fireworks laws, they passed gun laws that were so liberal and radical that it's just downright unconscionable to me. There were things that were passed like gutting collective bargaining bill, hurting our highly qualified, hardworking public employees. Unless we invest in our schools, we are not going to attract people here. So again, that's investment for the future. So many times we hear that we need to worry about job creation, and yet if we don't fund through adequate Medicaid, for example, which is what our rural hospitals right now are struggling with, a lot of them are in the red. Our rural areas need that infrastructure and that base of investment that they're not getting. Our rural communities really are what Iowa is. So we need to get back to emphasizing what's going to make our rural communities strong and attractive to people, because that's really prosperity. Animal husbandry, soil health, and taking care of stewardship for future generations. Again, that is not being done. So I'm concerned about not just water quality in Iowa, I'm concerned about air quality. And there seems to be this idea that if it's good for me, it's okay. And we need to get back to what's good for your neighbor, because that's really what we used to have for our values. What's good for my neighbor is good for me. And that's investing in the future too, because that's our values. There is no way this current attitude, this current disregard for rural communities can go on. We have to have more interest in building up our communities, in investing in our communities. I'm Brenda Brink. I think by joining together, by you supporting me and me doing that hard work of getting out and meeting people, we will improve our communities. We need to attract people back. We need to bring it back home. Our people, our prosperity and jobs, and our communities and the values that we have as neighbor to neighbor. And we need to make that best better, because that's what we have always been. And I need your support to do it. And I hope that you join me. I hope you support me. And I hope you vote for me. I'm Brenda Brink. I'm running for House District 49.